Okay, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing great. So, in the previous class, we have a discussion on sensitivity analysis. So, in that, we have seen the first method. So, in the first method, we change the coefficients of the objective function, and we see to what extent the changed coefficients would have some impact on the optimum solution, the final value. So, that is something we have already seen in the first method. So now in the today's class, we would look at the second method under sensitivity analysis, which is change in the availability of resources or right hand side of constraints. So here we make some changes in the availability of some resources or constraints, and we would ultimately see what impact these resources would have on the final value. Uh, See, if you could understand this problem, see technically this problem, if you could understand this problem, then it is just as same as you're understanding this entire chapter, because here I've come up with such a problem which includes each and everything which I have covered from the very first class of this particular chapter, that is that is the second chapter. So please pay attention right from the beginning. So as you may remember, when I started off with the second chapter, I started formulating the linear programming problem, and then I started solving it using graphical method, and finally now we are making use of sensitivity analysis. So this particular problem has an amalgam of all the aspects which are there in this particular chapter. So please pay attention. If you have missed any class, then this particular class would be of great help for you to recap everything, whatever that is being done so far. Yes. Solution. Okay, first we'll understand the problem, what it is actually speaking about. See, ABC manufactures two products on two machines. See, there are two products and there are two machines. A unit of product 1 requires 2 hours on machine 1 and 1 hour on machine 2. See, a unit of product 1. So, to produce one product 1, we require 2 hours on machine 1 and 1 hour on machine 2. Then, for product 2, 1 unit requires to produce 1 unit of product 2, we require 1 hour on machine 1 and 3 hours on machine 2. Then we have also been given with the profit information, which is the revenue per unit of products 1 and 2. So for product 1 per unit, we are going to get a profit of rupees 30, and for product 2 we are going to get a profit of rupees 20. This is per unit. Then we have also been given the total daily processing capacity, the total time available for machine 1 and 2 is 8 hours each. So we cannot go beyond this limit. And we have two sub questions here. Initially, we have to formulate LP model, and we have to find out optimal values for x and y using graphical method. So firstly, we're formulating the LP model. If we could go back in time and if we could see, then this is what the first step we actually followed when we actually started off with this particular chapter. Then we slip down into the graphical method. So in the first sub question, we have to do linear programming formulation, and then we have to solve this using graphical method. Then in the second case, we have to make use of the sensitivity analysis. So firstly, let me get the table so that it becomes very much easier for us to understand. Okay. Uh, See, ABC manufactures two products on two machines. See, there are two products. One is product 1, the other one is product 2. Okay, let me write it. Product 1, and the other one is product 2. Product 2. Okay. A unit of product 1 requires 2 hours on machine 1 and 1 hour on machine 2. So how many machines we have? We have two machines. So number of machine 1. So this is machine 1. Hours required. we have one more machine as well, which is machine 2. So number of machine 2 hours required. Machine 2 hours required per unit. This is per unit. For producing 1 unit, how many machine hours we need? So this is what we are actually speaking about here. See, understand the problem there. We are producing two products, product 1 and product 2. So a unit of product 1, see, a unit of product 1 requires 2 hours on machine 1. So to produce one product 1, we need 2 hours from machine 1, 2 hours from machine 1, and 1 hour on machine 2, and 1 hour on machine 2. So to produce product 1, we need 2 hours from machine 1 and 1 hour from machine 2. Then for producing for product 2, 1 unit requires 1 hour on machine 1. So 1 hour on machine 1, and then 3 hours on machine 2. 3 hours on machine 2. So let me write it as 3. So now we have also been given with the profit component, right? So let me add one more row. So profit per unit. So the revenue per unit of product 1 and 2 are 30 and 20 respectively. So per unit, we are going to get 30 for product 1, and we are going to get rupees 20 for product 2. Okay, this is done. Then the total daily processing time available for machine 1 and machine 2 are 8 hours each. See here in this particular column, we have number of machine hours required per unit. So the maximum availability of time from machine 1 is just 8 hours. So the capacity of machine 1 is 8 hours and machine 2 is 8 hours. So this is how we have to get the table done. I would explain it again. See, ABC manufactures two products on two machines. So there are technically two products and two machines, right? Okay. Then a unit of product 1, see, a unit of product 1 requires 2 hours on machine 1. So here I have written this here, 2 hours on machine 1, and then 1 hour on machine 2. See, 1 hour on machine 2. Here I have written this here, 1 hour on machine 2. Then for product 2, 1 unit requires 1 hour on machine 1. So product 2, it requires 1 hour on machine 1 and then 3 hours on machine 2. So once this is being written, so we have to write the profit component which they have given, that is 30 and 20. Then they have also specified the capacity. So the capacity of machine 1 is 8 hours and the capacity of machine 2 is 8 hours again. See, you don't have to put this table forward in the examination. If you could understand the problem, then that is fine. But I have put it forward just to make you guys understand, as simple as that. So now we shall go for formulating the LP model. So formulation of LP model. So now tell me, what is our objective here? So are we maximizing the profit or minimizing the cost? What are we doing here?
Maximizing the profit.
Yes, we are maximizing the profit. So how do we decide this? Because we have been given with a profit component. So every time when we see profit component in the problem, that is very clear that we are maximizing the profit, right? So maximize Z. So firstly, we shall define our decision variables. Let our decision variables be decision variables be. So what do you mean by decision variables? So when I say decision variables, here it is about deciding how many units of product 1 I should produce and how many units of product 2 I should produce, so that the combination would help me to fetch maximum profit. I would repeat it. When I say decision variables, it is about deciding how many units of product 1 I should produce and how many units of product 2 I should produce, so that that particular combination would help me to maximize my profit. So do I know in advance how many units of product 1 I am going to produce and how many units of product 2 I am going to produce? Do I know in advance, or am I finding it out?
We need to find.
We need to find it out, right? So I'm keeping these two variables as x and y. So these are nothing but decision variables. So x is nothing but the number of product 1, the number of units of product 1 I should produce, and y is nothing but the number of units of product 2 I should produce, so that the combination would help me to fetch maximum amount of profit. So now, so what is the profit I would get from product 1 per unit? What is the
30x.
30, right? So per
Yeah.
unit it is 30. Per unit it is 30, and we don't know how many units of product 1 we are going to produce. So that is nothing but x. Then how will I write the second one?
20y.
Yes, 20y. So per unit, the profit is 20, and I do not know how many units of product 2 I am going to produce. So I'm just keeping this as y. Okay, now subject to constraints. We have been given with certain constraints, subject to constraints. Okay. So here we shall see the problem. See, the total daily processing time available for machine 1 and machine 2 is 8 hours each. So here there is machine 1, number of machine 1 hours required, right? So this cannot go beyond 8, cannot go beyond 8, right? So how will I write it this? How will I write this as my one of my constraints?
2x plus y less than or equal to 8.
Yes, very good. 2x plus 1y or y. So 1y or y, anything
One.
is fine. Yeah, 1y or y, anything is fine. Is less than or equals to is less than or equals to what? Less than or equals to
8.
8. Yeah, it is 8, less than or equals to 8, because we cannot go beyond this limit. 8 is the limit. Then in the same way, what is the second constraint?
X plus 2y less than or equal to 8.
Is plus 3y.
Y.
Yeah, 3y is less than or equals to 8 again. 8 again. Finally, we have to write non-negativity constraints. Finally, x comma y should be what?
Greater than 0.
Yeah, greater than or equals to 0.
So it
Greater than
cannot
or
be equal to 0, right? It's only greater than 0, right?
it could be equal to 0, because that is positive. No, 0 is positive.
Okay.
See, one of your decision variables could be positive. One of your decision variables could be 0 as well.
Okay,
So
sir. Got it.
let me put it. Yeah, 0. Yes. So this is how we have to do it. Any doubt in this? Because this is very important. This may come for maybe 3 or 4 marks. Formulating this LP model. Any doubt in this? This is little complicated. You may get easier problem, but in this, if you have any doubt, that could be raised. Why? How? Any doubt? Yes. Okay. Nobody has doubt, I guess. So if you have any doubt, please do raise. If not now, at least in the maybe when you feel that you should ask your doubts. So just read the question and then understand, so that you will understand how to formulate the LP model. So now, once it is done, what we have to do? Yes, we have formulated the LP model. So what we have to do?
Corner points.
Yes. So firstly, it is about formulation of LP model. Okay. We have formulated the LP model. Then enter. We have to find out the corner points. Corner points. corner points. So firstly, when I say corner points, we have to look at the constraints, right? So we have two major constraints here. 2x plus 1y is less than or equals to 8. And then the other one is 1x plus 3y is less than or equals to 8. So what do? I convert the first inequality constraint into an equality constraint. Okay. So the first inequality constraint is 2x plus 1y is less than or equals to 8. So how will I write it? 2x
2x plus y equal to 8.
2x plus 1y or y equals to 8. Very good. Okay. Now what do? I get my table to find out the corner points. So one is x, the other one is y. Okay. So I keep my x as 0. So we set x equals to 0 and find out y. Those who have missed the class, please do concentrate. Find out y. So I take the same thing, which is equality constraint. Okay. So I have kept x as 0. So 2 into 0 plus y equals to 8. So 2 into 0 is 0. So y equals to 8. So when I keep x as 0, the value of y would be 8. Now, initially I had kept x as 0. Now I would keep y as 0. So we set y equals to 0 and find out x. So the same equation, that is equality constraint. So 2x plus, I'm setting y as 0, so y would become 0. In the place of y, I would write just 0 is equals to 8. So 2x equals to 8, and then x equals to, yes, x equals to
4.
4. So when I set y as 0, the value of x should be 4. So this is for the first constraint. Then for the second constraint, convert the second inequality constraint into an equality constraint. Okay. Now we shall see what is the second inequality constraint. So this is the second one. X plus 3y is less than or equals to 8. So that will become x plus 3y equals to 8, right? So now we have to write the corner points. Insert for the second constraint, x and y. It's y. So we set x equals to 0 and find out y. So let me set x as 0. Okay, I've set it. So now I'll take the same equation and place the values. So I've set x as 0 plus 3y. Okay, 3y equals to 8. So 3y equals to 8. So what is y?
2.66.
2.66 or 2.67. This we had solved in the previous class. Okay, 2.67 or 2.66. Okay. Now, initially I had set x as 0 for the second constraint. Now I would set y as 0. So, give me some time. Okay, we set y equals to 0 and find out x. Now, so x will remain in the place it is because I have set y as 0. So 3 into what? 3 into is 3 into
0.
0 because I have set y as 0
X
equals
is
to
equal
8.
to 8.
Yes, x equals to 8. Very good. X equals to 8. So here, when I set y as 0, the value of x would be 8. So now we have found out the corner points. So let us put these values onto the graph and find out the optimum value for the first question. See, what does the first question say? Formulate LP model. Okay, we have formulated the LP model, we are done with it, and we have to find out the optimum values for x and y using graphical method. So for that, we had to find out the corner points, and we are done finding out the corner points. We just have to place the corner points on the graph, and we have to find out the value for x and y. Okay, give me a second, give me 10 seconds. Could it be seen? Uh, see, we had solved the same problem in the previous class, right? So the corner points for the first constraint, then the corner points for the second constraint we have, then we plot these corner points on the graph, right? Then we find out the corner values a, b, and c, and then we put the same values for the objective function, and then we find out the optimum value, so that would give us the value of x and the value of y. So this we had done in the previous class. So you want me to repeat it? Do you expect me to repeat it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me do it.
Sir, there is some disturbance in your voice, sir.
No, somebody, somebody has to mute. Somebody did not mute himself.
Oh, now it's clear, sir.
Am I audible? Is my voice clear now?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yeah.
now it's clear, sir.
Yeah. So now, okay, let me repeat it.
So your voice
Okay.
is not.
Yeah. I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking. Let me get the values.
Okay.
Yes. Corner points. Now I'm speaking. Now hope it is audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Give me some time. Please excuse me for a while. Corner points for the first constraint. Okay. I'll get the values which we had calculated. Okay. 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 These are the corner points for the first constraint. Then in the same way. Okay. Corner points. Second constraint. Let me get the values. Okay. Yeah. So now, let me denote my first constraint in red line using red line. Okay, this is
So we did this
Not-
in the last class, no, sir?
yeah. I'm
Because
explaining
it's,
this because somebody wanted me to explain it again. That's okay, no problem.
it's revising, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those who know it, please excuse me. Yeah. So now, see the corner points for the first constraint. So what is the value of x? What is the value of x? Yes, what is the value of x? Yes, what is the value of x? Corner points for the first constraint.
4, sir.
0
Yeah.
and 8.
0, okay. 0 you leave. What is the value of x? In this first table, what is the value of x?
4 and 8, sir.
4
That
and 8.
is,
So
x is
yeah,
4 and
x is 4 and y is 8. So I have connected those two dots, 4 and 8. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this? See, 4 is here. 4 is here. X is 4. 4 is here, right? See, I'm just marking. And 8 is here. X is 4 and y is 8. So I'm just connecting these two dots, as simple as that. So this is for the first constraint. Then in the same way for the second constraint, I'm making use of blue line here. So what is x here? What is x?
8.
8.
And y
And what
is
is y?
2.67.
Yeah, x is 8. So x is here. See, 8. This point, and y is 2.67. This is here, right? So I'm connecting these two points, as simple as that. So I'm done putting the values onto the graph. So now I have to find out the feasible region. So how will I find out the feasible region? Yes. So now, if I look at this particular region, is this a feasible region? Is this a feasible region? See the first constraint there. What does it say? 2x plus y is less than or equals to 8. So the first constraint is denoted by red line, right? The first constraint is denoted by red line. So when I say less means the shade should come to the left of the red line. So now in this particular region, has the shade come to the left of the red line?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So we are satisfying the first constraint. Then in the same way, we have to look at the second constraint. So x plus 3y is less than or equals to 8. So less again. So less means left, right? So now tell me, has the shade come to the left of the blue line? Has it come to the left of the blue line? It has come to the left or right?
Right, sir.
Right.
It has come to the right. So where it should have come? If we were to satisfy the second constraint, where the shade should have come, to the left or to the right?
Sir, you can take that other area, no, below 3 and where the red line is.
Yeah. So I'm just explaining it, why we cannot take this region. Did you understand? So here we are satisfying only one constraint. So this is not the region. This is not the region. We are satisfying only one constraint, right? Then now look at this region. So what does the first constraint say? It says less than, right? That is to the left. The shade should come to the left of the red line. So now tell me, has the shade come to the left of the red line here or to the right?
Right.
Right. So technically it should have come to the left, but it is coming to the right. So this is not the region, right? So now we have the last region here. So now first constraint says less than. So the shade has come to the left of the red line. So we are satisfying the first constraint. Then second constraint says less again. So the shade has come. Here you see where the shade has come, to the left or to the right?
Left.
Left. So are we satisfying both the constraints here?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the region. If you could look at the other two regions, this region and this region, there we were satisfying only one of the two constraints. We were not satisfying both the constraints. So for the same reason, I could not pick those two regions. So I have to pick this region because I'm satisfying both the constraints here. As simple as that. Hope everybody has got it. Any doubt could be raised. Yeah. Now let me write the values. Okay. A. So what is the value of x here? Yes, what is the value of x? So what is the value of x? Yes, please. Yes, what is
Or is
x?
it 3.3 or 4?
No, this is just connected to this 4, no? So what is x here? You can clearly see this.
4.
4
Zero.
is x, right?
4,0.
4 comma 0. Y is 0. You have to go horizontally to your left. So that is y, 0. Right? Then now here it is little difficult. You guys have to make use of graph. So okay, we'll take the approximate value. That is fine. Maybe when you come back to college again, I would explain it again using graph sheet. Okay, it comes somewhere here. It comes somewhere here, right? I may be wrong. I don't know. Yes. So this is B. Yeah. So what is the value? What is x here? Is x 3.2? Can I write 3.2?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll write 3.2. Yes. Then what could I write 1.6? Why?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is 1.6. Yeah. Okay. This is fine. Then the last one. Yes. So this particular point, C. So what is x here? What is x? What is x?
0.
No. Oh, okay. X is 0. Okay, fine. What is y?
2.67.
Yes, 2.67. Yeah. So now we are done with getting the values. So now I should see what is x and what is y. Yeah. Give me some time. Yes. So optimum value, maximize z equals to 30x plus 20y. Sorry, yeah, 20y. So now for corner point A, yes, 30 into what is x for corner point A? What is x? Still we have to go
4,
a long way. Yes. What is x?
4.
4.
4.
Yes. So what is y? 20 into 0, right? So y is 0.
0.
So that equals to 120. Then for corner point B, again 30 into, so what is x?
3.2.
3.2. Yes. And y would be 20 into 1.6. So that will give you 128. So finally, for corner point C, okay, 30 into 0
0.
plus 20 into 2.67, that will give you what value it will give you? Yes, if you have a calculator, 20 into, that is 53.4. Yes. So now we are maximizing the profit. So where do we see the maximized profit? In which corner point? In which corner point? Yes. We have a long way to go. Please tell me which corner point is giving us maximum profit.
Corner point B, sir.
Yes, corner point B, right? So corner point B, where we are seeing a profit of 128. So therefore, okay, therefore, okay, x equals to what? X should be what?
3.2.
3.2 and y should be
0.6.
1.6. Yeah. So we have to produce 3.2 units of product 1 and 1.6 units of product 2, so that this particular combination would help us to maximize our profit. So we are done getting the answer for the first question. So now we have to look at the second question. Yeah, let me go back. Excuse me. So that is the reason why I was telling you that this particular problem would make you remember each and everything, whatever that is being done right from the first class. Okay, I hope this could be seen. Yes. Yeah. So now see the first sub question. This was the first sub question, that is formulate LP model and find out optimal values for x and y using graphical method. So we have found out optimal values for x and y using graphical method. So that is being done. So the second question, assume that the daily capacity of machine 1 increases by 1 hour. Show the graphical sensitivity of optimal solution for the same change. So now, okay, we'll leave this particular part. We'll leave this part and we'll understand what they're actually speaking about. Assume that the daily capacity of machine 1 increases by 1 hour. What does it mean? Yes. Yes, what does it mean? Daily capacity of machine 1 increases by 1. So here in this table, what change I should make? What change I should get? Yes. Yes. See, assume that they have clearly mentioned, assume that the daily capacity of machine 1 increases by 1 hour. So what should I do? So what was the initial capacity? At least you tell me that. What was the initial capacity of machine 1 in terms of number of hours? 8. So now it has gone up by how many hours?
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour. So now what is the total capacity of machine 1?
9.
9. Very good. So it is 9. It is being increased by 1 hour. So earlier, see, it was 8. Now it has become 9. As simple as that. So now we shall get the solution for the second question. Okay. That is B. Sorry. B. Why it is not coming? B. Okay. Let me copy down the same table, because only one change I have to make here. That is, instead of 8, I should write 9. Let's see. Yeah. So here instead of 8, I'm writing 9 because the capacity is being increased, right? So now, same formulation of LP model. Formulation of LP model. LP model. Okay. So initially, maximize Z. So you can write decision variables. Let our decision variables. You don't have to write it again. That's okay if you're not writing it, but we'll write. Let our decision variables be x and y. This will remain constant every time. So we are maximizing the profit. Maximize Z equals to, so 30x plus 20y. See the profit per unit. So 30x plus 20y. Enter. Subject to constraints. Subject to constraints. So what is the first constraint? Yes, what is the first constraint here? Yes, what is the first constraint for the second question? Yes, how will I write the first constraint?
Is it 2x plus y is less than or equal to
Yes,
9?
very good. Yes, very good. 2x plus y is less than or equals to 9. Here it is 9. Only this change we have to make. Otherwise, it will remain as same as it is there in the first sub question. Insert symbol less than or equals to 9. Okay, that is the first constraint. So if that could be the first constraint, what is the second constraint? Yes. What is the second constraint?
Plus 3y less than or equal to 8.
Yeah, very good. X plus 3y. Oh, so sorry. Wait. X plus 3y is less than or equals to less than or equals to 8 here. Here it is 8. So here see, the capacity is increased for only machine 1, not for machine 2. So this will remain same. Then finally non-negativity constraint, x comma y, sorry, small x comma y should be greater than or equals to 0, right? So now next we have to find out the corner points. So convert the first inequality constraint into an equality constraint. Okay, so that is 2x plus y equals to 9. 2x plus y equals to 9. So inequality is this, that is 2x plus y is less than or equals to 9. So I'm just converting it into equality constraint. So now corner points, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me get the table to find out the corner points for the first constraint and the second question. Okay, x. The other one is y. Okay, y. So initially I set x as 0. So I will find out y. We set x equals to 0 and find y. Okay, this is the equality constraint. Okay, 2 into, what is x here? What is x?
0, so value of y will be 9.
Yeah, very good. Okay, plus y equals to 9. So y equals to 9. So when I set x as 0, the value of y would be 9. Very clear. So now initially I had set x as 0. Now I set y as 0. So we set y equals to 0 and find x. So the same equation, 2 into x will remain in the place it is because I'm changing y here. Y will become 0. I'm replacing y with 0 equals to 9. So 2x equals to 9. So what is x? Is x 9 divided by 2? What is it?
4.5.
Yes, very good. 4.5. So we're done calculating the corner points for the first constraint. So in the same way, we have to convert the second inequality constraint into equality constraint. So what is the second inequality constraint? This, that is x plus 3y is less than or equals to 8. So x plus 3y, convert the second inequality constraint into equality constraint. So x plus 3y, if I'm not wrong, x plus 3y equals to 9. So let me get the table for this to find out the corner points. Please do tell me if I am fast. X. I'm going little fast because I hope you all are clear with this. So x equals to 0. So we set x equals to 0 and find y. So this is the thing, that is x plus 3y equals to 9. I'll just copy it down. So now, okay, so x is 0. In the place of x, I'm writing 0 plus 3y equals to 9. So 3y equals to 9 and y equals to yes, y equals to
9
Why is
9.
it? Why?
Yes, y equals to 3, right?
Yes.
Next, what do? We set y equals to 0. Did I take the constraint right? X plus 3y equals to 8, yeah. So y equals to 3 here. So now, see here, I have set y as 0. Initially, I have set x as 0. So now I am setting y as 0. So we set y equals to 0 and find x. So we actually this should have been 8, right? Here it is 8. See the second one. This is not 9. This x plus 3y is less than or equals to 8. This should have been 8. I'm so sorry. So this will be 8 here. So equals to 8. So could anyone please tell me what is y? 8 by 3. Okay. 8 by 3. That is 2.6. No, 2.67, right? 8 by 3. 2.67.
Yes, sir.
So this here is 2.67. Okay. Now it is 8, not 9. So let me change this as well. The above one. It's 8. Because the second constraint is remaining as it is. Here we are not making any change. So we have set x as 0 here. So we are finding out y. So x that will become, no, x will remain in the place it is. That is x. We are setting y as 0, right? 3 into what is y? 0 equals to 8. So now x equals to 8. X equals to 8. It is very easy. Please run through it again. X equals to 8. So we're done getting the corner points. So now we have to plot these values on the corner points. So before that, you see what they're actually speaking about here. We assume that the total capacity of machine 1 increases by 1 hour. Show the graphical sensitivity of optimal solution for the same change. We shall look at it later once we're done with plotting all the values on the graph and finding out the feasible solution or the optimal solution. Okay, now yeah, give me some time. Yes. Okay, let me get the corner points for the second question. Corner points for the second, for the first constraint. Let me get the values. I'll get the values. Yes. Okay. So these are the values for the first constraint. So in the same way, I need to get the corner points for the second constraint. Corner points for the second constraint. Okay, let me get the values. Okay, we're done getting the corner points, right? So scale, let me write the scale. Did not write the scale here. So scale. So x-axis 1 centimeter is equals to 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit, and y-axis 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit again, because I'm taking the difference of only 1. Yeah, Okay, we'll denote the first constraint using red line. Okay, red line. This is being denoted by red line, and second constraint, okay, we shall make use of blue line. Okay, so now first constraint. So for the first constraint, so what is x and what is y? What is x and what is y? Yes, what is x and what is y?
0 and 4 point.
No, you forget the zeros. You just tell me the value of x and what is the value of y. What is x here? Yes. What is x? Zeros you forget. What is x? 4.5.
4.5.
Okay, 4.5. Then what is y?
0. Sorry, 9.
9, right? Yeah. You forget the zeros. Only these values you have to get, x and y. So now, okay, we have got the corner points plotted on the graph. So we have to draw a straight line to join these 2 points. Okay. Okay. So the first constraint is done. So now for the second constraint. Okay. So what is the value of x for the second constraint? What is x?
8, 8, sir.
8. X is 8. Wait. Give me some time. So please excuse me. Yes. So this is 8, 8, and the other one is 2.67. Y is 2.67. It comes somewhere here, right? 2.67. So let me join these two. Okay, 2.67. Yeah. So we're done with this, right? So now, yeah. Let me look at this particular region. So now tell me, you have understood about LP model so much more than what I actually know about it. So you tell me, by looking at this particular graph, does this particular region satisfy both the constraints? Does it satisfy
No,
both?
sir.
No, it does not satisfy,
No.
right? Yeah, we have seen it in the previous uh, sub question. So does it do it? Does this region do it?
No, no.
No, even it doesn't do it. Does it do it?
Yes.
Yes, it satisfies both, right? So we'll get the points. Yes. So write A. So what is x here? What is x? What is x? 4 point
4.5.
4.5. And what is y? What is y?
Maybe 1 point.
No. You have to go horizontally to the y-axis. What is y? See, come like this. What is y here? What is y? This point, right?
Two.
So here x is 4.5. What is y? Y. Here is y. What is y? See, here is y. What is y?
0.
Yeah, it is 0, right?
Right.
So now P. Okay, now so what it could be?
1.8 maybe.
Wait, let us check if this is 1.8. Okay, it comes somewhere. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. So What is x? Is it, can I write 3.8? Actual value is 3.8. So let me write 3.8 only. So x is 3.8. And what is y? 1.4. 4. Actual value is 1.4. Yeah. Now, okay, C. Okay, C. What is x? 2 point. Sorry,
Zero.
what is 0? Okay. Then what is y? 2.67, right? Yes. Now we'll get the optimum value. So when is your next class? At what time you have your next class?
So 12:40, sir.
12:40, no? Can I take class till 12:35 if you guys don't mind?
So no problem. From my side, I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Let me see. Because only a few is left. A few of the aspects are left out. Okay. Okay. What is Z? Maximize Z. Maximize Z. So here we know that is 30x plus 20y for corner point A, for corner point A. Okay. 30 into, so what is x? 30 into what is x?
4.5.
4.5. Okay. Plus 20 into
0.
0, right? Yeah. So what is the value? Could anyone tell me what is the value? 4.5 into 30 into 30. Yes, that is 135. Yeah. Now for corner point B, that is 30 into, yes, what is 30 into 3.8, right? Plus 20 into 1.4. So somebody has to be very quick. Yes.
142.
142. Yes, very good. This last one for corner point. For corner point C. Okay. 30 into 0 plus 20 into 2.67. Yes.
53.4.
53.4. Yes. So what is the optimum value here? 142, right? That is where we are seeing the maximum profit. So therefore, okay. Therefore, x equals to 3.8 and y equals to 1.4. So now, okay. So you all have understood till here. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this?
Sir.
No, right? So just understand. See, if you could understand this, then it is fine. See, we changed the capacity from 8 to 9, right? We changed the capacity from 8 to 9. So initially, does anybody remember what was the optimum value initially? Now it is 142. Does anybody remember what was the
128.
it was 128, right? So now it has become 142. So what is the amount of change? What is the amount of change? Yes, what is the amount of change? It was 128
14.
before. 14, right?
14.
So there is 14 rupees change, right? So the revenue has increased by rupees 14. So when did it increase? When I increased my number of hours, right? When I increased my total capacity from 8 to 9. So I increased it just by 1 hour. So that when I increased my total capacity by 1 hour, my profit increased by increased by 14 rupees. Did you guys understand? 14 rupees, right? See, initially this particular, wait, yeah, this particular line was like this, was somewhere here. Okay, now it shifted up, right? There is a parallel shift, right? So this is because we have changed the capacity, right? So when we change the capacity by 1 hour, the profit would increase by 1 hour. So now, if it could be put down in the other way around, what if I decrease my capacity by 1 hour? What would happen to my profit? Just put
Go
it-
down by 1 hour.
Okay, I reduce it by 1 hour. So what would happen to my profit?
So it would reduce proportionately by 1.
It would, yeah, by 1, right? It would reduce proportionately by 1. So I have to be, we have to be very particular here, very specific. See, initially it was 128. When the capacity was 8, it was 128. Profit was 128. Now I increased my capacity from 8 to 9. From 8 to 9. So the profit increased by 14 rupees, right? So now, instead of increasing it by 1 hour, if I had decreased it by 1 hour, what would have been my optimum value? Let me put it.
Sir, could you repeat the question?
Yes, I'll repeat it. See, initially, when the capacity was 8 hours, the optimum value was 128. Did you understand? It was 128. And then what did I do? I increased my capacity from 8 to 9, right? There was 1 hour change, 1 hour increase, right? So when I increased it by 1 hour, my profit increased by 14 rupees. My profit increased by from 128 to, it became 142. Did you understand? From 128 to 142. Now, instead of increasing my capacity by 1 hour, if I had decreased it by 1 hour, what would have been my profit?
So then,
Yeah, see,
then will the optimum be 8? No, I
yeah,
don't.
initially it was 8. When it was 8, when the capacity was 8,
Okay.
when the capacity was 8, our optimum value was 128. The first sub question, did you understand? It was 128. See, when the capacity was 8, the optimum value, I will just write OV, optimum value was 128, right? So now capacity, yeah, capacity is 9, then optimum value, that is OV, is 142, right? 142. So I increased my capacity from 8 to 9. See, from 8 to 9. So there is 1 hour change, right? 1 hour change. So when I increased my capacity by 1 hour, my profit would increase by 1 hour. Did you understand? My profit would increase by 1 hour. So now my question is, what would have happened if I had decreased my capacity by 1 hour? What would have been my profit?
Reduced by 1 hour. Reduced
Yeah,
by
it
1
was,
hour.
if it was reduced by 1 hour, what would have been my optimum value?
114.
Yes,
Reduced by
114, right?
14.
Yeah,
114.
it will reduce by 14, right? So 128 minus 14. Then again, if I decrease it by 2 hours, then again it will decrease by 14. Yeah,
28.
28, right? So it can go up to this limit. The maximum limit it can go up to is this. That's okay. I'll explain it in the next class. I think you guys are running short of time and I may still need 5 more minutes. That's okay. Let me take the attendance shortly. I'm so sorry for taking your time. Please do remember this when you come to the next class, because if you don't remember this, I may have to explain this again.